A blinding high beam suddenly hit their faces. A vehicle behind them couldn't react in time and crashed into them. The partner woke up and opened fire on the police. Deafening gunshots roused Frank. Staggering out of the car, he ran for his life under covering fire. His partner was shot dead. Frank leaped off a bridge, falling into a dumpster and barely surviving. The next day, the chief prosecutor held a press conference, announcing that 8 people had been killed in the parking lot. One of the female victims was a judge. She had long been investigating a criminal organization spanning 30 years and had arrested one of its members just a week earlier. Now she was dead. The prosecution identified Frank and his crew as members of that organization, claiming the bank robbery was only a cover. Their real goal was to murder the judge and cut off the investigation. Watching the news, Frank was filled with shock and confusion. They had robbed the bank but never hurt anyone. Clearly, someone was framing them from the shadows. To avoid being used, he decided to lay low and investigate later. But the moment he stepped out of his car, a swarm of police surrounded him. He was hauled to the station in a daze. Facing the charges, he roared in bunkie. The police chief smirked and presented a report. The shell casings at the scene match your weapons perfectly. Unable to defend himself, Frank was thrown into prison. He didn't give up, having received a tip that Vic on the outside was planning a jailbreak. That night, inmates lit strips of cloth to distract the guards. Frank used a wire to hook a cloth strip lowered from above. A hidden phone was inside. He immediately called Vic to plot the next steps. Early the next morning, a guard barged into his cell. The guard lifted a package from the table, pressed his ear to the door to listen, then carefully opened it. Inside was a bomb. He pried up a floor tile and was about to plant the bomb when footsteps echoed in the corridor. As the guard entered to announce mealtime, he found Frank doing push-ups on the floor, narrowly avoiding suspicion. That afternoon, Vic disguised himself as a Middle Eastern woman to visit. Suddenly, he pulled a shotgun against the guard's forehead, planted explosives on the prison gate, and dragged the guard behind a wall. A deafening blast blew the gate open. The female robber drove straight into the prison, shot the lock off an inner gate, and took guard hostage. The remaining guards dropped their weapons. Hearing the chaos, Frank used a mattress as a shield, detonated explosives to blow open his cell door, and seized the guard as a hostage. Inside and outside coordinated, and the group quickly linked up. But Vic forced the guard to open another wing, cells holding members of the criminal organization.